Hi, Rex here. I had someone request a long-term review on YouTube. They had put in the comments they liked the review I did of it and wanted a long-term review, so I thought I'd do one. Um, I've been riding it all summer. Bought it in June. It's now early October, so we're I think on Strava I'm at about 225 miles. It shut off on me a couple times, so just under 250 miles I have on it. I ride a couple times a week. When I first got it, I rode on the streets in town. Luckily, we have some elevation and stuff, so I wasn't just riding on flat ground and stuff. But haven't had any problems. No, really, nothing's loosened up. I haven't even had a flat tire. I had thought about upgrading the tires or going tubeless, to tubeless tires at some point, but I was gonna wait until I got a flat or had a trouble. The tires have held up fine. I haven't ran on a lot of asphalt, maybe only 50 of those miles are on asphalt, but uh, first thing when I hit the trail, realized I needed to upgrade was the dropper post. Um, I should have got the dropper post with it. It was kind of right at the top of my budget, so I thought I could live without it for a while. And first time on the trails, like I gotta have a dropper post to get that. And I ended up with this Fox Transfer. Might have been a year or two old version, but it was brand new on eBay. Got it pretty good price, maybe under 200 bucks, like 190 bucks or something. So I thought that was pretty good. And I think when I ordered this, it would only been $100 more to get a dropper. So I should have done that. That was what the first time I should have done. Um, I upgraded a couple things. I upgraded the pedals. The stock pedals are actually pretty decent. These have a little bit more pin. They're just a one-up composite. Pretty light. They're a little bit lighter than the stock aluminum ones. Uh, I upgraded the grips. I didn't really have a problem with the other grips, but I thought I'd try something a little bit bigger diameter. Actually, I think these ODIs are maybe a little bit too big. I was thinking a little bit bigger one would have a little bit more cushion, kind of take the shock to it, but not not really so much. The stock grips were pretty good. What else did I actually, where we ride in Minnesota here, we got tons of great trails, and the combination of the gearing with the 32 on the 3247 was not low enough for the elevation that we have. Typically, a lot of our trails are about 100 feet per mile. So if we ride 10 miles, we're at like 1,000 feet. Some are a little more than that. I think there was one place I rode, it was like almost double that. So I rode like 4 miles and had 800 feet elevation and stuff. So it I needed to lower gear. I didn't want to remove and deal with the cassette. So I wanted to do it like a 28, go from a 32 to a 28, and on the crank. But I had trouble finding one. The stock crank is a little bit cheaper crank. There's nothing wrong with the crank. I didn't have any problems with the crank, but I had trouble finding a 76 bolt circle, and I wanted to try an oval chainring. So I think Wolf Tooth was actually only an hour north of here. They had a 28 and a 76 bolt circle. I'm not 100% if the bolt pattern was the same, but I think it would have fit, but it wasn't. They didn't have one in an oval. So it was a little uncommon for this bolt pattern. So I ended up ordering one that I thought might work, and it was this rotor, Q rotor, and it ended up not fitting. It was a 76 bolt circle diameter, but it wasn't the right bolt pattern. So I ended up changing out the cranks. They had the cranks that fit that on clearance. I paid $150 for them. They're actually pretty nice cranks. Uh, and then that chain ring you can actually adjust the timing on a little bit too. That's been a big help on climbing hills. Uh, yeah, that was the major improvements. Of course, on the other things, neighbor dogs. So that was the major things. Of course, I got some shoes. I bought some biking shoes. Not really a necessity, but they are nice to have. Of course, I got a helmet. I got a bell. I got like the year-old version, the bell with the removable chin. I haven't used the full face part yet. And one of the biggest things I got was my son had one is this USWE hydration pack, and this thing has been a lifesaver. It's nice to just have it on your back. I have the tools. I have a tool set in here. Ended up with this nice tool set, and got a couple tools in there. So that's been that hydration pack's been a lifesaver, and it has like a magnet, so you clip the magnet where you want it, and then on the end you have the magnet and it clips, so you get to, it's not flopping around, it's right there. That's been a great investment, probably one of the best things I bought. Like I said, I didn't have to upgrade the cranks, but they're a little bit lighter, a little bit better cranks. So when I actually, after riding it all summer, I wanted to go with a little bit, like I said in my review, that my must-haves was an air fork and an air rear suspension, and something not just baseline cheap stuff. And this really fit the bill. But I now know that I'm going to stay with the biking, because I wasn't sure if I'd ride it once a month or 5 miles, or I didn't know. And I really enjoyed it, and so I'm gonna upgrade to a better bike for next year. And I'm looking at, I like the Polygons so much, I'm gonna stick with the Polygon. I'm trying to get the T8 for next year. It hasn't quite been out yet. I got on the Notify Me, so at the end of the season, maybe in another month, I'm gonna sell this one and then get that T8. That T8 for $2,300 looks really nice. And what I'm looking for is mainly in the suspension. I thought about upgrading this one. I thought about getting probably the first upgrade would be the fork, maybe the rear shock. The fork has been working great. I go off a drop or something, it soaks up stuff pretty good. But my son and I have had a discussion, and we've kind of felt like at a bigger rider like myself, actually, I have lost like 15 to 20 pounds since I've been biking the last 3-4 months or whatever. So I haven't really changed my diet or changed anything, but just the biking and the workout. So it's been great. I feel good too. But with the fork, I feel like with a heavier ride, if you're a 150-pound rider, you're probably gonna like this fork better. But the cheaper forks, it's a $250 fork. It's not the cheapest, but we were talking, when you're increasing the pressure from a 150-pound rider to a 250-pound rider, you're adding quite a bit of pressure, and you're taking your softness right at the top of the stroke. So it's going to be firm at the top of the stroke. And what I noticed, like I said, it soaks up like on a drop and stuff pretty well. But what I'm noticing is like a rock garden, or one of the places we were at had kind of this little bumps in the berms and stuff, and I get a lot of jarring just on the very top of the travel. My son has a little more travel on his, and a little better fork, and his is a little better. It soaks those up. So my plan was possibly to just upgrade the fork, but once you upgrade everything, I'm going to have as much as a $2,300 T8s. So I thought, bikes are still selling well, so I thought I could sell this one. It's in great shape, so I'm going to sell this and then get the T8 for next year. I'm pretty excited about that. Another thing too would be nice having a 51 or 52 tooth rear sprocket to kind of get me a little more gear. So, but all in all, bike's been great. Had great luck with it. I broke a chain once. The stock chain is really good. I replaced it with the same chain. It was my own fault. I changed the gear and I took a link out of the chain, but I didn't realize. I'm old school with the chains. I just took the pin out, put it back in. But these pins have kind of a peen on the outside, and if you put them back in, if you take a pin out and put it back in, you need to peen that, or the best way is just to not break the chain. Just use the master link, just like came with it. I didn't have a tool for the master link, so that was my problem. So that was a lesson learned. So the pin basically just wiggled out. It was my own fault, but we got it fixed on the road. So other than that, I had great luck. Nothing's really been loose. Just check some bolts once in a while. We got a big ride tomorrow. I'm probably doing 20 miles, and I'm pretty excited about that tomorrow. So maybe I'll include a little bit of footage and stuff. I haven't done any too big jumps and stuff. It's a little different jumping with a full suspension compared to like my old BMX bikes. Just it soaks it up so much you don't fly as far as you want if you think you're gonna and stuff. So um, yeah, it's been a great bike, and looking forward to biking next year and getting something with a little more suspension. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.
Sometimes I have to keep on breathing in. My lungs are filled with too much pain. All the shadows